The GOP battle for a new House Speaker has descended into even further disarray this morning. Republicans in disarray. Just one day after Republicans nominated Majority Leader Steve Scalise for the position, the Louisiana congressman withdrew from the race last night.
I just shared with my colleagues that I'm withdrawing my name as a candidate for the Speaker designee. If you look at over the last few weeks, if you look at where our conference is, there's still work to be done. Our conference still has to come together and is not there.
Scalise simply didn't have the support. Now, two top Republicans are calling for dramatic action to overcome the Speaker standoff. Bloomberg reports that Armed Services Chair Mike Rogers has suggested that Republicans might have to cut a deal with Democrats and called on House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries to spell out what concessions he would require to help the GOP select a speaker. At the same time, Foreign Affairs Chair Michael McCaul said the House might need to grant legislative powers to the interim speaker, that's Patrick McHenry, so the chamber can act on a national security package for Israel. But even doing that would also require Democratic support.
And we need to fill the chair with a speaker. Every day that goes by, it gets more dangerous. I was on the phone with our friends from Israel. They're going to need a supplemental, an aid to replenish the Iron Dome. But they can't do that if we don't have a speaker in the chair. So I see a lot of threats out there, but one of the biggest threats I see is in that room. It's very dangerous what we're doing. And I just wanted them to know that, we're playing with fire.
Congressman McCaul, not the only Republican lawmaker to express frustration that the House Speaker race is taking away from precious time that could be spent addressing the Israel-Hamas war. Meanwhile, House Republicans will be at it again later this morning. They plan to meet at 10 o'clock as they try to plot the next steps forward. Joining us now, Capitol Hill reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Siobhan Hughes. Siobhan, great to see you this morning. So first, let's start with Scalise. Take us inside that meeting last night and give us a rundown, what your sources are telling you as to why Scalise simply and ultimately had to withdraw from the race.
Scalise had to withdraw from the race because he simply could not bring those Jordan supporters along. Among the criticisms of him, he did not spell out a specific plan for things like how you get past a government shutdown. Also, these worries, whether real or an excuse about his health, whether or not the blood cancer he's battling would enable him to be a strong fundraiser. And, of course, President Trump's appearance on a radio program yesterday only exacerbating those claims. Finally, the complaint that Scalise is too much a problem of the traditional establishment. In spite of his conservative bona fides, he just wasn't seen by the hard right as being enough of a fighter.
So what's next? Jim Jordan, as you just mentioned him, he was second place last time around. Is there any scenario where he could try to garner more support to get to that magic 217? Is there a potential new candidate, more of a mainstream consensus candidate who could step forward? What's your read of the field?
So the expectation is that Jim Jordan and his supporters are going to make a strong bid for the speakership today. But it's expected that he is not going to be able to amass those 217 votes. And in part, that is because he and his supporters in particular have really poisoned the well by resorting to what their critics see as these guerrilla tactics of essentially crowbarring their way into the speaker's office and then trying to take the place over. Some other names that are floating in the mix are Kevin Hern, the chairman of the influential Republican Study Committee. Also names like Tom Emmer. Kevin McCarthy is in the mix. You saw Tom McClintock, a California Republican, say yesterday he thought Kevin McCarthy should be restored. There was also in the room last night some conversation about trying to revive prospects for Steve Scalise. And then, of course, what you just mentioned earlier, this idea that was once more of a fantasy or a fairy tale that perhaps Democrats could come to the rescue. And one scenario is that Democrats could help provide the votes to make the acting current speaker, Patrick McHenry, sort of a caretaker, somebody who would be able to at least bring legislation to the floor at a time when, of course, we are looking at the potential for a government shutdown in mid-November.
So let's talk a little bit more about that idea that the Democrats could bail out the Republicans. What would they, and you did a nice job laying out the stakes here. There's government shutdown looming. We just mentioned, of course, the need to send Israel a security package. But if the Democrats are going to bail out the Republicans, what do you think they would get in return? Would any Democrats be open to this?
Well, what we know is what Democrats have previously discussed they would need. It would be, they say, some type of a power-sharing arrangement, perhaps commitments to bring legislation to the floor, perhaps chairmanships. But that is the scenario in which Democrats provide the votes for a permanent speaker. There's also another narrower scenario in which Democrats simply provide the votes to make Patrick McHenry a caretaker speaker for a limited amount of time, maybe with limits on what type of legislation he's able to bring to the floor. So there is no clear-cut outcome here, but there are a lot of ideas in play.
All right. We know at least some Republicans meeting again today, but it seems likely this will spill into next week or beyond. The clock is ticking. Capitol Hill reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Siobhan Hughes. Great stuff this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.